Um, okay. Excuse me. This is Thanksgiving officially. Excuse me. And I worked for 84 consecutive days. And this is my first day off since September. Now, I want to talk about the Lakin Riley case, if I may. And if I'm coughing, please excuse me. I just ate Cheerios by the handful like a pig. Um, the Lakin Riley murder case. Obviously, we know the story about, illegal alien entered in 2021. May have been a member of the gang, the Venezuelan cartel. Was arrested in New York City for one was shoplifting, and two was a crime against a child, like endangering the welfare of a child or an assault on it. They didn't say specifically, but he was arrested for a crime involving a child, and he was allowed to just walk free. Alvin Bragg wouldn't prosecute him, obviously. He was allowed to just pick his own destination, get a taxpayer-funded airplane, get a taxpayer-funded hotel room, taxpayer-funded food. The taxpayers, you and I, were paying him to live in Georgia and attack a woman. And they threw the book at him. He was guilty of every crime, including peeping Tom, stalking, answering a 911 call, a lot of shit. Now, Riley did at one point say, call 911, no, not Riley, Lakin Riley, sorry, Lakin Riley. Lakin Riley did at one point call 911 while she was fighting him. The call was interrupted. Now, a lot of times you see the movie and you call 911 on your cell phone and the call is traced. Okay. First and foremost, some police departments do not have the budget to get the technology to trace your call. Some don't. Most do. Now, when they trace your call, you're talking about cell phone towers, satellites, trajectory, all that bullshit. That could take a couple of minutes. Okay? Plus, they gotta call the unit. And the dispatcher could call a unit and tell a unit, listen, I'm getting a 911 call from a cell phone. It's someone in distress. I'm trying to trace it. And they could be like, okay, it's in this sector, or it's in this region, or it's over this way. And the car, the police car could be headed towards that direction. But by the time they get exact location, it could be 10 minutes, it could be an hour and a half. It's not that easy. Okay, and I've probably called 911 more times than everyone wants this video combined. I had a call 2 days ago. You could easily wait 20 minutes for a 911 call. So if you're on a trail somewhere and you're being attacked by someone and you can't give an address and they got to trace the call, you might as well not even be doing it. I mean, it's human nature to call 911 when we're in trouble, but the odds of them finding her were astronomical. You would have had to have a cop right there 5 feet away from her in order to get her there in time. Now, what happened was she missed a daily call with her mother, and her mother knew something was wrong. I don't know minute by minute details, forgive me for that, but that's what happened. And her friends noticed she wasn't in class. She missed one class. Now, she was the type of girl that would never miss a class unless she was in the hospital. Okay? And then they were calling her, texting her, some of them were, and she was not responding to them. Then the campus alert went out. A lot of guys have campus alert on their cell phone now. Snowstorm, classes canceled, shooting, stay off campus, or if you're on campus, hunker down. and the campus alert said we found a female's body. Now I'm like saying I don't know what order everything happened in. I don't know minute by minute, but the gist of the story is they found a female deceased, and this young lady is missing. Not answering phone calls, not answering text messages, and it's not in her character. She's not a whore. She's not an alcoholic. Okay, she's not just some fool. It's not in her character. And a lot of her friends and family members figured out very quickly there's a problem somewhere. And when you have the alert on your cell phone saying a dead female has been found and you can't find your friend, okay, doesn't take long to figure it out. Now, most of the evidence that convicted her attacker was scientific. Now, I've taken forensic science classes, okay? My associate's degree, bachelor's degree, criminal justice, blah, blah, blah. Okay? Every time you touch something, it's called cross-contamination, principle of exchange. If I touch this, I put germs on that, I take germs from that. Fingerprints. Now, I could give a woman a back rub, and my fingerprints can be all over her back. Okay? Every time you hug someone, every time you kiss someone, okay? You could literally walk down the street, see your friend, and kiss her. Like, done. Your DNA is on her face, okay? Her DNA is on your lips. Any touching of the body, there is fingerprints or DNA or something like that, okay? If I'm touching your bare body, it's against your bare body. If I'm touching your clothing, it's on your clothing, okay? So if I kiss your face, my DNA is on your skin. If I grab your arm like this while I kiss your face, my fingerprints are on your t-shirt. And I doubt very much a fiber's on your, but it could happen. A fiber could be on my finger from your shirt. Now, a lot of women don't like being raped. And he was trying to rape her. And this girl's a devout Christian. We actually have a Catholic saint who actually fought her rapist. He killed her, but he didn't rape her because she fought back. She was canonized as a saint, and after the killer got out of prison, he made friends with her mother. Real crazy, but Lakin was a devout Christian, okay? She's also a self-respecting woman, okay? She did not want him to use her for a toilet. And a lot of women, regardless of what they feel personally about men and relationships and stuff like that, they don't want you touching them. So they fight back out of instinct. But a lot of other women, and Lakin Riley being a nursing student, she knew about fingerprints, blood, DNA. Okay, that's part of her job description as a nurse. And nurses do rape kits. Was she taught to do a rape kit yet? I don't know. But I guarantee, being a nurse student, I guarantee she'll know what a rape kit is. We'll get to that in a minute. You'd be surprised how a scientist can find shit. Okay, I could take a 9mm bullet, fire it out of a Glock 19. The bullet has the landing groove marks from the barrel. And no two barrels are alike. Even if they're the same model, make, factory, everything. No two firing pins are alike on the back, the primer. No two extractor marks are alike. Obviously, a revolver might not have extractor marks, but a semi-auto would. Right? But a revolver has a primer mark. So, and a forensic scientist could put that under a microscope and say definitively, if you look very, 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 very closely into that microscope, there's an individual characteristic that makes that Glock 19 firing pin different than any other in the world. You could have a car accident. and the paint from that car hit that car. The paint from that car hit that car. A scientist can take paint samples and say these paints came from the same paint can. At the factory, the paint machine on the assembly line was spraying paint out of the same paint can. Yes. So you have fingerprints, DNA, blood, body, blah, 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 hair, all that exchange as they're touching each other. Okay? And a lot of women, when they fight back, they're fighting back because they want the rapist to be identified or murderer to be identified. That's part of the thinking too. And a lot of times you see a girl that's had really been fucked up. The guy says it was consensual. Okay, it's consensual. Yes, it was. So why does she have a fat lip? Why does she have a broken tooth? Why is her hair ripped out? Why is your hair ripped out? Why is her shirt ripped? Okay, why is your shirt ripped? Okay, they can tell whether you're just fucking around with someone or whether it's an actual fight. Fingerprints on the throats, eye gouging, okay? And this little girl gave a pretty nasty, from what I heard, she gave a pretty nasty fight. Okay? I mean, he was a lot bigger than her, obviously, and he won the fight eventually, but also, The Rock, he literally bashed her fucking head with a rock. They can tell the rock on her skull made those marks. If she has dirt on her skull from the rock, they can take the rock, the dirt, and they can say, this speck of dirt came from that dirt ground where that rock was laying, and it's the same. They can figure all that shit out. You'd be surprised. Bite marks. I don't know if she bit him. She probably did. I don't know. But, yeah. And what they do is they have what they call a rape kit. Now, a rape kit could be you were actually raped. Or it could be that you were the victim of an attempted rape. Maybe you fought the guy off. Now, 90% of the time, they have a female doctor or nurse do the rape kit. In fact, even if a male doctor is examining you, the rape victim, the male doctor may literally go down the hall and say, listen, female doctor, I'll take your patient, you take my patient. My patient is a rape kit. Because the woman has already been either raped or almost raped by a man. Let me call the fucking man. And because of that, she will be very uncomfortable with any man touching her. And she feels more comfortable if it's a woman touching her. Especially if the woman is going into her vagina, her anus, her breasts, her mouth, any part of her body. And they gather up fingerprints, DNA, hair, fiber, stuff like that. They gather it up, they put it in individual bags, label it, and they hand it to a detective immediately. They have a detective from Major Crimes Unit come in, and they say this woman was raped, or allegedly raped, or attempted raped. Here's all the evidence. Okay, and they can tell because there's abuse to the hips, which means the victim was physically battered at the hip, whether it was physical throbbing, like hard. They can tell if you have damage, because if you look at Israel, they had women that were raped until the hips broke. Especially if it's a young girl and a much bigger guy raping her. If she's 9 and he weighs 200 pounds, that's gonna hurt bad, and it's gonna rip her insides out real bad. Okay, this is kind of nasty stuff, I understand that, but hear me out. And even if the rape was attempted and not successful, hair, fibers, teeth, all that shit is still on the clothing and the skin and all that bullshit. Okay? And what they do is, if they get this, they can't just say hair, it came from that guy. They have to have a suspect. They take a hair from the suspect. And they use that hair and they compare it to hair under her fingernail. And the forensic scientist can determine with a 99.99999% probability they're the same. Okay? Blood. His coat was covered in blood. He threw it in the garbage. They found it. And they have video of him throwing it in the garbage. That blood is her blood, her DNA, maybe a little bit of his blood too. Yeah. And that's what they do. And that's the story. That's how it went down. And it was a judge trial. He wanted a judge trial. Or his lawyer wanted a judge trial, rather. But he had no choice. I mean, he had no chance anyway, one way or another. I mean, if he was in San Francisco and he did this, they would have found him not guilty and they would order the victim's mother to pay him money. Okay? But this is not San Francisco. Okay? This is not Manhattan, where we put the president in prison because he made an accounting error X number of years ago. No, this is Georgia. Okay, this is Georgia. Okay, whether you get a judge or a jury trial is irrelevant. There's no fucking way in hell you're going to tell me that in Georgia you're going to have a single Georgian citizen. We know Eric and Chad are from Georgia. Obviously, we watch the videos all the time. There's no way in hell you're going to get a jury or a judge or anyone in the fucking mind at all in Georgia to vote you not guilty after you got that much evidence on you. Period. It ain't going to happen. Ladies, you must carry a weapon when you go jogging. Or you know what you do? Get a treadmill. Buy a treadmill, rent a treadmill, or go to the gym and use their treadmill. And run on that. Okay? You must have a weapon. I understand only a couple of college campuses in the country allow guns. Nothing fancy. His son was in college in Utah, and he was showing his bag one time. He literally had a fucking Smith TR-8 in his bag. Not even joking. And he said campus carries legally. Okay, cool. But not everywhere. Most college campuses will allow a woman to carry pepper spray. Most college campuses will allow a woman to carry a small fixed blade knife on her person. Or the thing is, if you don't see it, do they hear it? So if you're a woman and you have a small fixed blade knife hidden somewhere on your body, if your college doesn't know about it, okay, or if you get attacked and use it on someone, Barry, God rest his soul, once said, it's easier to ask for forgiveness than permission. Okay? And ladies, if your college tells you don't carry pepper spray, don't carry a fixed blade knife, don't carry a cat's paw, find another college. Okay? You've got to protect yourselves, ladies, okay? We have Democrats in this world, and those Democrats, I mean, this is the responsibility of the Democratic Party. Okay, whoever the fuck controls this, you know, a cocksucker, probably Kamala Harris. They went out of their way to open the border. They went out of the way to let this guy in. And between city Democrats, county Democrats, they went out of their way to let him go. Now, if you went to New York City and you touched a child, they would fucking shoot you. But because he's a foreign invader, he gets special treatment. Foreign invaders under the Democratic Party have more rights than we do. And as long as there are Democrats in this world, there are going to be criminals in this world. And that's the truth. That is the truth. I don't like it. You don't like it. Okay? To be told, I became a great uncle Tuesday. Now, do I want my great niece to grow up in a world where she has to worry about some fucking piece of shit illegal murdering her because she won't let him rape her? No, I don't want to live in that world. I don't want to live in that world. But the truth is, the Democratic Party wants me to. And the truth is, Democratic voters don't care if I live in that world. Okay, and you got Justin Nungary, And you got a lot of other young ladies who are dead, but should not be dead. And even some young gentlemen too. You must protect yourselves. Okay? I'm going to put a link to Bastinelli. He has several fixed blade knives that are for women specifically. You can wear them under your coat, under your pants, under in your waistband. Okay? They're fixed blade knives that are right along your belt. I have one from Boone. I'm looking at it right now on the counter. I'm looking at it in the box. It came in a nice box. But they also have fixed blade knives that are very small and sleek, and you can put on your waistband. They have belly bags. Bastinelli makes belly bags. He makes bags you could put a knife in and put a gun in. If you can't carry a gun, carry a knife. If you can't carry a knife, carry a pepper spray. Okay, have something on your body. Even this from Jason. Where is it? That was a gift a couple years ago. Have something on you. Thank you.